Did you know that working can consume 1/3 of your life? And if you are stuck in a job that no longer brings you joy, has no meaning or value to you, what are we doing? What are we doing with our lives? In a survey conducted by My Perfect Resume of 1,000 employees, they wanted to find out two major things. One, what exactly makes a job meaningful? And two, what are the consequences of being in a job that no longer has any meaning for you? In this video, we are going to be covering some of those key findings and my own personal questionnaire for you to determine whether or not you should stick with your current job. Hey, what's up guys? It's Justine with Debt Free Millennials, the channel to help you crush your debt and live payment free. This study came through my inbox and I thought it was really interesting because I think for millennials in particular, we are not married to a particular employer, and it's very uncommon for us to be with employers for more than 10 years. I have not seen that. Very rarely have I seen that because we are always constantly looking for new opportunities. And also many of us graduated during the recession, and so things were very bumpy for a long time. Not to mention the pandemic where many of us got tossed to the wayside. And so we've come to this point with our careers where maybe we've bounced around a couple of different times. And does it have meaning for us to stay in a particular job? All right, so this study actually found that 7 out of 10 respondents found that their job was indeed actually meaningful to them. That's good news. 47% of the respondents actually found more meaning since the pandemic. So that could include nurses, healthcare workers, maybe even food service providers, supply chain management operators. Any of those people found their jobs more meaningful after the pandemic. So as also part of this survey, they found 4 factors that made people's jobs meaningful. 79% of respondents said that having a sense of purpose mattered to them and made their job meaningful. 77% said having a high salary helped make their job more meaningful. 77% said a sense of satisfaction, and 74% said the opportunity to help people. So having that satisfaction, the salary, sense of purpose, and helping others actually contributed to this meaningful impact. This next key finding from the study is kind of funny, but also kind of sad. 64% of people who work in the education industry said that their jobs were bullshit jobs. And I can see why, especially if you are working with kids and everybody was trying to navigate what to do with the pandemic. Do you wear masks? Do you have this additional barrier to teach your students and not get paid additional for that? I could see how a lot of teachers might be really bitter about their jobs and how things were impacted since the pandemic, but even before then, and how undervalued teachers might feel. On the flip side, this study also covered the negative impacts of being stuck in a meaningless job. You'll have negative impacts to your mental health and your physical health by staying in a position or a job where you feel undervalued. You'll also risk burnout, depression, a mental breakdown. You'll risk that sense of feeling unfulfilled in your life because you're going through the monotony of your position. And I know I've been there. I do remember being in this position. It was with a financial company that was named Creative Marketing. It's not called Creative Marketing anymore. But I was thinking to myself, this is a financial services. This company sold like financial annuities, but it was called Creative Marketing. Very confusing for me as somebody who works truly in marketing. And I remember sitting there for 3 months and thinking, what am I doing with my life? 1, this is so incredibly boring. 2, I am not passionate about annuities whatsoever. And 3, I was working with a lot of financial advisors that were really focused on the financial aspect of their jobs versus truly helping people. And that's when I knew I had to get out. In fact, I had only worked at that position for 8 months before moving out of it completely and finding another job. I just remember, like, this is not worth it. I will not sit here for a year because I'm afraid any future employers might look at me as a flight risk that I may jump from job to job. But really, that was such an isolated moment in my career that it didn't matter, and that I was able to move to something that was more meaningful. And I think that's something that you can talk about with your interviewer and with your future employer about, is exactly what were those emotions and why did you make the decision to leave. In addition to this study, there was an image that was floating around social media that I had saved from a long time ago that talked about how we are taught to measure success. And a lot of us can break it down into two parts. One, job title, two, salary. When really success is measured with so many more factors. Think about not only your job title and salary, but also your mental health, your work-life balance, your physical health, and your free time and liking what you do. So I thought this image was perfect to kind of put things into perspective for you, to see like it's not just about the money. It's not just about your job title. There are so many other factors that go into making your work and your life meaningful. Okay, so if we know how this study of 1,000 employees are feeling about their job, what's the salary? I wanted to know that. So I went on to Fred at the St. Louis Fed, which measures real median household income in the US, and as of 2020, this was the last observation, we can see that the real median household income was just $67,521. Now, we've definitely made progress since the 90s, but I share that statistic with you because your job and the income that you bring in has a tremendous impact on your finances. It gives you, or may not give you, the ability to pay off debt, to save, to buy a home, to invest. If we don't have that income to back us up, it makes it really difficult for us to get ahead. So while I do believe that more money does not always equal more happiness, continuing to increase your income is vital for your financial health. All right, so putting this study into perspective for you, let's determine whether or not your job is still meaningful for you. I'm going to ask you a series of questions and then just think about it yes or no in your head, and that'll help us determine whether or not you should continue on with your job or if you are ready to make a change. Okay, first, let's talk about work-life balance. Question number 1, does my boss and team respect my time outside of work hours? Question number 2, do I feel pressure to work beyond 35 to 40 hours per week? All right, let's go to the next section, salary. Is my salary reflective of my skill set and years of experience? So think about what you bring to the table. How many years have you been working in your particular field? And does your salary actually match up with that? All right, next question. Is it possible that there is another company that would pay me more for what I bring to the table? Just thinking about your skill set, everything that you bring, your years of experience, is there a possibility that another company would pay you more? Okay, let's go into the third section, benefits. Do I feel like the company is supporting me in my retirement and health? Think about your retirement package. Think about your health insurance, what other benefits that you might have as part of working for this company. Do you feel supported in that? Okay, next question related to this. Do I get opportunities to take time off when I want it? Not if you need it, but if you truly want time off. A lot of Americans struggle with taking time off and will accrue massive amount of paid time off and hours of vacation and sick leave, but don't actually take it. So do you feel supported in those decisions when you take time off? And last section, let's talk about impact. The question here is, do I find my work personally meaningful? Think about what meaning and value means to you for your job. This is kind of a subjective question and answer, so it really just depends on how you interpret this question. But what does meaning and what does value mean to you when it comes to your position? And last question, am I okay with my contributions at work so that I may focus on other activities activities that provide more meaning to me. So maybe you're okay with your position in particular at your work not having a high impact, but does it allow you to make impact in other areas of your life that are more meaningful? Maybe it gives you more opportunity to volunteer or be more present in your children's lives or really work on a passion project at home because things are so flexible with your 9 to 5. Okay, so how'd you do with those questions? Did it point you in the right direction? Give you that kind of like nervous feeling of, oh crap, like I really am not valued. I could be making more. This isn't meaningful or high impact for me, and maybe I should start looking elsewhere. And I know that is such a scary decision for people to make, especially those who maybe have been with their employer 3 to 5 years and you kind of get comfortable. Now is the time to step out of your comfort zone, especially with your job, because if you don't step out of your comfort zone and you don't have that fear is a signal of growth. And that is where the growth lies. When you start to become anxious and fearful, you're onto something. If you are looking for additional support, I am not a recruiter, but I can help you with the budgeting side of things. You might be a great fit for my one-on-one budget coaching program, Budget Bootcamp, where you and I sit together in a virtual setting privately to discuss your financial goals. And maybe part of that is trying to find a job or position that meets those financial goals for you. I will link to that below in the description box for you to check out. I will also link to the study if you want to check out more about the study by My Perfect Resume. Are we stuck in bullshit jobs? Are you stuck in a bullshit job? Let me know below. If you like this one, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.